Hey guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about my DNFs, the books I did not finish in 2025, but also, as we do every year lately, I'm going to try to figure out what I can learn from each of these. So since these are bad books, I wore the Bingle shirt because they're bad this year. So there you go. Okay, we are back to drinking a sparkling ice caffeinated thing. So it's not much caffeine, it's just like enough, but you can tell I've had enough of it. I've had some other caffeine. It's a whole thing. So anyway, I'm going to try not to talk too fast, but that's what I do. So anyway, DNFs this year. There are only 9. I think that tells us a lot. That tells us I have learned my lesson about what books to start. It also tells me I did power through some books I should have DNF'd, but that's another story. So I am learning what books I can read, what books I should not read, what books I will actually enjoy, and not reading the ones that I'm like, I'm just not going to like that. So 9 DNFs is pretty good for me. This might be the shortest video we've had of all these DNF videos that we've done recently. So the 9 books I DNF'd, I think these are in order. Yes, these are in order. I think that I DNF'd them, and most of them come near the second half of the year too. Pretty much all of them. So the first one I DNF'd, was in May. I didn't DNF my first book until May, I guess technically. So it's I Feed Her to the Beast, and the Beast is Me. This one sounded so cool. It was horror, young adult. It was like, oh, she goes into the catacombs of Paris because she's a ballerina, and she was gonna make a deal with like this river of blood that she finds so that she can be the best dancer or be famous or whatever. And character was kind of like the villain, and like truly a villain as the main character. And I thought, this sounds so cool, but it was so boring, and it was just kind of about the teens and their drama and like not interesting at all. So what have I learned by DNFing this, or by trying this book and not loving it? The plot synopsis of young adult books is not always gonna tell you if you like the book or not. Okay, next I DNF'd Cloud Atlas. This was the beginning and end of the book club that my husband and I started. I was like, Zach, let's do our own book club. This will be so much fun. And so I thought we'd pick a book that neither of us had read, but both of us could enjoy. And I love Slade House by David Mitchell. We all know how much I talk about it. And I was like, oh, Cloud Atlas looks so fun. And there's the movie that we can watch, and it sounds very similar. And there's these different things going on in different timelines. And the way it's told is really crazy, where it's like from the past all the way to like the far future. Then it goes backwards, back from the future, back to the past through those same characters again, but backwards. And I was like, oh, I love that. I love little gimmicks like that. This is going to be so much fun. Fun was not the word for this book. It was boring. I was bored of every single chapter. I know that they're supposed to sort of all be connected, these stories, but they did not seem connected to me like the Slade House book did, where it is sort of one plot all together and it does all wrap up neatly. I was not getting the vibes from that in this book, and I was too bored to even finish it. Like, I finally got to over halfway where I was going back through the people in reverse now and through time, and I was still bored, and my husband didn't finish it either. We both DNF'd it, and we both thought it had some promise. And the thread that runs through them all, I just didn't care about at all. Maybe this book is above me. I don't know. I mean, I know people clearly love this book. I did not get it. I do not know. And unfortunately, right here on my TBR, right in front of me, is Ghost Written by David Mitchell. Now I'm afraid to read that because I'm like, oh gosh, what if I don't like David Mitchell? What if Slade House was just a one-off that I did like? Okay, what have I learned about Cloud Atlas, or about I don't know. I don't know what I learned from this one. Oh, just because the way it's told sounds cool, it could be kind of gimmicky, and you can't always just go by, the fact that it's like, ooh, it's told backwards or something like that. I also had another book that was told backwards. It was All the Missing Girls or something, I think was the name of it, by Megan Miranda. It was told backwards, and that was not good either. So I just have to keep in mind. Oh, I did read another book though that was told backwards this year, Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart, and I liked that one. So, but anyway, yeah. So just because it's told a certain way does not mean that I will enjoy it. Okay, next. I DNF'd Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I love V.E. Schwab sometimes. I mean, I own Vicious and Vengeful. Vicious is one of my favorite books of all time. I love Darker Shade of Magic. Did not really care for the whole rest of that series. So have I read any other V.E. Schwab? I don't even remember at this point. But I was like, ooh, it's vampires. This is going to be good. Nope. Boring. I was so bored. I made it a long ways in before I DNF'd it too. I mean, I was pretty far. I think I was almost halfway. I still had not met one of the main characters. There's like 3 main characters, and she hadn't even appeared like halfway through the book. I was like, nope, I'm out. Peace out. It was way too long. I know this is a very unpopular opinion because everybody likes this book, but I didn't get it. I didn't get the hype. I'm an Interview with the Vampire Girly, and this was not what I wanted. It was like I tried to be more modern, and I didn't like it. So what have I learned? Just because it's written by one of your favorite authors and because everybody else loves it does not mean you're going to. Next is Main Characters, which was a very rare romance read for me. Very random. And no, it's not a romance. Wait, no, I lied. I think it's literary fiction. I think it's just like, it's about these two sisters, but it was supposed to be like, sort of like the Parent Trap situation. And they didn't realize that they were sisters or I think only one of them knew that the other one existed, but the other one didn't know that the other one existed. And they wind up, like their dad dies or something, and that's how they all come together. And they have to share this like cabin in Maine or something until they figure out what to do with the house to sell it or whatever. And it was about their relationship. I did not make it very far. I'm not gonna lie. I only read it because people said it was like the Parent Trap, but it's not fun like the Parent Trap. So why did I read it then? I don't know. Literary fiction's not for me. That is one thing I have learned. I've also learned just because it's compared to something like the Parent Trap does not mean that it's gonna be good. So I should have gone with my instinct. My instinct was that I would not like it, but I only read it because of that Parent Trap situation, and I was right. I should have listened to my instincts. The next one is The House Where Death Lives. I DNF'd this. This is a short story collection for young adults. It's horror, kind of. They weren't like all super scary. I learned that don't read these at nighttime. I think I was by myself. My husband was gone somewhere. I was reading this by myself in bed around Halloween time. Nope. It actually scared me. There was one of the stories that scared me. Partially why I DNF'd it, because I guess I'm a scaredy cat. I read other horror books this year, like Staircase in the Woods and something else. One of my favorite books of all time is a horror, God in the Shed, and that's not that scary to me, but this, I don't know, some of these stories got me, and I was like, nope. But I think it was the one about the babysitter that goes to babysit in this like really weird house, and weird things happen in the house, and that got me. It got me. And the rest of the stories were just kind of not that scary or kind of boring and super weird, so... What have I learned? Don't read short stories, because I know I don't like short stories. I've never liked short story collections, and I guess I thought I would like this one because it was horror, and that's why I tried it. But I tried it because it was divided into different rooms of the house, or different parts of the house, like the basement, the first floor, the attic, but the stories weren't connected in any way, shape, or form. So I thought they were going to be, I guess, at least a little bit, but there weren't. 4 more books. I DNF'd The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I don't know. I still am confused as to why I didn't like this book, because it sounds right up my alley. The humor, I mean, it was almost like slapstick comedy kind of humor, and I loved that. And like with these, ragtag team of very morally gray characters that have to come together, and they all had fun personalities. I should have, in fact, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why did I DNF this? But right here on my TBR is The Blade Itself that I started before by Joe Abercrombie. Maybe I need to do more of the darker, whatever it's called, like grimdark kind of fantasy compared to this one that was supposed to be more like funny. I don't know, but it should have been something that I liked. I still don't know, but I don't know what I learned from this. That just because it sounds like something I like doesn't mean I will, or just because it's funny, that's it. Yeah, I like a lot of books that do have like that witty characters and banter and morally gray characters, but all coming together in a ragtag team of individuals. But that didn't work for me. Actually, it didn't work for me when I read that Sebastian J. Castell book either, the Malevolent Seven or something. So maybe I don't like, that's what I learned. I don't like books with ragtag teams of morally gray characters. Well, I think another reason I DNF'd The Devils is because I just didn't really understand the plot of what was happening, because I was listening to it on audio and I kept getting distracted. I did do audiobook for like the entire thing, which is, I mean, obviously partially my fault. But I remember thinking like, why are they even doing this? Why are they even going to this place? What is even happening? Like, it's like I forgot the goal of what they were trying to do. Every scene just felt disjointed, that they were just doing random stuff to be funny. I don't know. I had trouble following the plot, but that could have been me listening to the audiobook. Okay, the third to last book I did was Throne of the Fallen. I DNF'd. I only started reading this because Kayla from Books and Lala. I've got it. That's what I've learned. Stop listening to Kayla about fantasy books, especially fantasy romance. I read Quicksilver because of her, and I hated it. Now I've DNF'd this book because of her. So, okay, no more listening to Kayla from Books and Lala especially about fantasy romance, because she and I do not have similar tastes. She doesn't like books I do, and I clearly don't like books that she likes, because she is excited about even continuing this series. And I was like, what? I don't think I made it 10%. I was like, nope, it's like a Quicksilver all over again. where the characters are generic. I don't care about anything that's happening. It's just a contrived plot to get to the romance. So I just didn't care. Okay, the next I'm very sad about, very sad about, and surprised that I DNF'd. I thought I'd at least make it through it, and I actually thought it would be really good, which is The Dissonance. This book, Lexi from, what's her, Alexander Rosalind, her channel, which I don't think she posted a video in a while now that I think about it. But anyway, she is the one that turned me on to this book. It sounded so cool. It's kind of like fantasy, sci-fi, horror. I don't know if it's really very sci-fi, I wouldn't say, but at the time I thought it was. Fantasy kind of horror leaning, and I was like, this sounds amazing. I don't remember what was wrong with it. It's been so long since I tried to read it. It's like a timeline sort of jumping from the past to the present, and there was a magic system that didn't make much sense, if I recall. I think that was my biggest issue with it, was just the magic system didn't really have any rules. It was just like, oh yeah, and also magic can do this, and also it can do this, and it's like, what? And like, I don't know. I just didn't care. I remember the beginning was actually pretty good, and I was kind of intrigued when they were first like figuring out about magic existing and their own powers and stuff, but then it just got to where I didn't care. I do remember, I think, the writing being pretty good, but it was just going to be an okay read, so I DNF'd it. So what did I learn? Don't listen to people on BookTube. I don't know, because this one was a shock. This one was a surprise. So I can't say I really learned much from this one. I guess I learned that sometimes books that you really think you're going to love, you won't, and you'll just be disappointed. And finally, something I know I definitely learned from this one. The last book I DNF'd was around Halloween time, so it has been, I've made it a couple months with no DNFs after that. But that is Anathema. I don't remember the author, but it'll be here on the screen. I would never have even chosen this book. So this is partially on me. I chose this book. I chose this book because it was on I discovered a new channel, and I can't remember her name now, but she does read kind of like darker books, dark romancy kind of books, that kind of thing. And this was like, ooh, like a dark, like gothic-y romance, really bleak, like super bleak setting. And I thought, oh yeah, I want really bleak with like thorns and blood, and the sky's always gray, and the, you know, I was like, yeah, that sounds great for the Halloween time, but also there's a romance. This sounds perfect. It was too dark and bleak for me. Like, I was getting depressed. I was like, I don't want to read this. Like, I am not into, I don't know, just anything like happening to kids. I feel like there was something about kids. There was some like body horror kind of stuff. And I was just like, oh, it's kind of gory and gruesome. And like, I didn't want that. Which is funny I say that, because like I love God in the Shed and it's gory and gruesome. But I don't know. This one was just too bleak for me, I guess. So what did I learn? That kind of dark gothic-y romance is not for me. So those are my 9 DNFs for the year. This is such a shorter bitty video. I think, wasn't it like 25 books a couple years ago that I DNF'd? But anyway, I'm clearly learning my own book taste a lot better. And I've learned, you know, fantasy romance. I've learned young adult fantasy romance, especially. I remember talking about that in other videos. They're like, hey, don't read young adult fantasy romance. Well, guess what? You didn't see any on this list, did you? Because I don't read fantasy young adult romance anymore. So at least I've learned something from these videos. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below if there's any that you're like, oh my gosh, you really need to go back and try that one again. It's really good, or something like that. Maybe I'll give it another shot. So talk to you guys again later.